What's up YouTube? How's it going everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about this awesome little mini Kubota tractor, and this is something I just picked up recently. I traded a quad for it. I traded a Suzuki 500 4x4 quad. I picked that quad up for about $2,000 and put a little bit of work into it, cleaned it up. And then put it on Craigslist as a trade for a tractor. Lo and behold, this guy had a 4x4 with a loader on the front, and for a couple $100 more he threw in the blade on the back. So got myself a little machine for building trails. It's a B7100. This is, I think, based on the serial number. I think it's a 1981. This little tractor and I have been doing a lot of work, and it's been pretty impressive. A little 3-cylinder. It really doesn't have a lot of horsepower. I think our little plastic Tractor Supply lawnmower rided tractor that I bought has more horsepower than this thing, but it's an awesome little machine. 4x4. It's been pretty unstoppable, although there has been a couple of little issues just because it does have some age to it. And one of the things that came up was the hub design. So if you look under here, there's a couple of hubs, one on each side. And so here's the first hub, and you can see that it's got that bolt that goes through. So if you look at the other side there, so this is the right side of the vehicle, and this is the right side, and you can see there's a shear pin there, which I've replaced. The Kubotas actually changed the design. They didn't have that one pin with the one single tensioner bolt. Later on, in most other newer tractors, there's actually a different hub design that has kind of a V-shaped wedge. And so I've gone ahead and ordered some on eBay. I found a bunch of different companies that sell aftermarket versions, and we'll see how those look when they come in. But so far, this has been a great machine. Really haven't had to do much to it. Put a new battery in it, and that was about it. It's run really well since then. All right, the hubs have arrived, and you can see they came from a company called All States Ag Parts in McFarland, California. That was the company that sent them to me. And so now we'll just do a quick unboxing, and then I'll slap them on, and I've got some work I need to go do right away, so we'll give them a test today too. Here's the logo of the company that sent them to me. Okay, so I have the new hub unpackaged here and ready to install. You can see this one comes with new studs and new lug nuts, so I really liked that. This is the big difference here in the new design, is that it has a bolt that goes through here, the nut on this end, the bolt goes through that way with a nut there. And then inside of here, if you look carefully inside of here, get it over the light so you can see better. So inside of there, you can see the triangle starts like right there, but it'll actually be more in the middle. There's a wedge-shaped cylinder in there, cut in half, with a triangle, a wedge-shaped triangle carved out of that. And as you squeeze the bolt that goes through this way and the nut, it squeezes those two pieces together, and that will center the axle shaft inside of the hub. So I'm gonna pull that off now, put this one on. All right, now with the wheel jacked up, you can really see how loose it is. All right, just to show you guys a little bit better how that piece works, this is the cylinder here that's been cut in half. So that part goes through there like that. And you can see on the inside there, get it just right in the middle there. That, as I squeeze this together, as I squeeze this bolt, it's going to squeeze that onto there. And that should fit a lot tighter than the old setup, which basically had, well, garbage. This single set bolt here and a wallowed out. To install this thing, I just want to make sure I get those kind of lined up, and then I want to make sure that that hole lines up with that hole there. Another cool thing I noticed is that they have these tapered lug nuts, but it also includes a lock washer, so if you do not have the tapered style rims, then you can just bolt it on there with a lug nut and a lock washer. Mine is the tapered style, so I'll be using the tapered side with no lock washer, but that is nice that they include it, so depending on what tractor you have, you can just bolt these on and use those lug nuts. And the lug nut size that they included is a 22 millimeter, same size lug nut that was on there before. So you can use the same tools to put the lug nuts back on, the new lug nuts back on. Here's a look at one of the new bolts I bought, Tractor Supply, standard hardware, new bolt. See, the old one's a little bit bent. I'm gonna go install these new ones. So I'm choosing not to use these. These are the alignment pins that it came with. And a cotter pin, I'm just going to use these bolts. I feel like I trust that a little bit more than just that little pin there. So hopefully this will fit through. And it looks like it will. So that's the side I've cleared already. There's some wood I stacked up, anything that looked like it was worth saving. The other burn piles down there, kind of by the creek, past those red tools. There was a burn pile there. And then over here on this side, this is the last burn pile I have to burn until I build another one. And there was another burn pile right there. That was one I burned earlier. And then this is where we're at now. So hopefully all that'll be cleared soon. It'll take some time, but at least I got the tractor back. Got the new hubs on. Threw a bunch of grease real quick, real sloppy like on all those bushings on the back there where the implement connects. So all that right there is the next to tackle. And you can see where the old ditch used to be over here. I walked through with a saw, cut myself out a little trail right here. So this is pretty thick still, but you can see where I cut all the way. Fence line's right over there, probably about another 50 feet from here, 60 feet. So hopefully instead of it looking like this, soon it'll all look more like that, where I can ride. So I'll get to work on this here tractor now that I got it fixed, and see what I can do. Alright guys, so here's a look at what I've been dealing with. You can see the brush is just stacked up over my head, and I've been using a combination of the tractor and just the chainsaw and that little weed eater attachment that I showed you guys earlier to try and push through all this stuff. And it's like over my head, 10 feet, 15 feet tall in places, just way up there, you can tell. And it's not like you can just kind of just push the tractor through there, because there's like logs and stuff like this all through there that get all in the pile, and then, you know, I got this huge mess on my hands. But it's been going pretty well, slowly but surely. You can see I kind of cut in right here a little bit to where I can actually get to the log with my chainsaw and then kind of cut it up. And then if you compare that to over here where I've already cleared up against the fence line there, it's a huge difference between that and that. And then, you know, moving further down here, you can see where I'm already done clearing right here. Got the tractor back there, and the big burn pile in the middle that I'm gonna get going again today. And then back over here, there's another section that hasn't been cleared, and this is, again, this is kind of what it was like before I started on the other section. Just over my head, like 10 feet tall, blackberries mixed with some rose hips, really thorny rose hips, and there's actually trees with thorns. Like everything back here had thorns on it, just pokey as all heck, and everything's just trying to stab you constantly. So between the blackberries, the rose hips, and these pokey, I don't know if it's a cherry tree with thorns on it or something, but these huge long little spikes, huge little spikes. That makes a lot of sense. But anyways, you get the idea. It's been a lot of work getting there though, almost done. Probably the last quarter. I got that whole 3/4 of the acre back there, and just this last 1/4 acre behind me left. And then kind of behind here, all along the bank over here, that all has to be done still too. So quite a bit of work done, but quite a bit of work left still. With just a 1/4 acre, I probably left the worst for last. Here's the fence line. I gotta fix that where the trees all fell. And then behind me, right over here, is that original willow tree that we uncovered the very first part when we first started clearing back here. So it's been a lot of work, but it's well worth it. Hopefully soon I should be able to like start a nice little track back here, start making some new trails to ride on. Won't have to go very far to go test out new parts and things. I can actually go hit the trails and stuff in my own backyard, not just cruise around the little grassy field down there, but actually hit some true trails before I take it out in the woods and explore deep in the jungle of Northern California. So, all right guys, I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna go fuel up the little tractor and get back to clearing. Wish me luck.